Hi, it's Beth with a little bit of Beth for you. And today we're going to talk about judgment and how judgment can be positive or negative, but it's always a hall of mirrors. Remember when you were a kid and or maybe an adult, and you went to a carnival or a fair and they had a fun house and there were those mirrors and you'd stand in front of it and there'd be a mirror and then a mirror behind the mirror and a mirror behind the mirror and a mirror behind the mirror. Well, that's the way judgment works. I always tell this story in my trainings in the Navigating Challenging Dialogue workshop when we get to the point where we talk about judgment and how we judge others. And I was in the airport in Phoenix one time. I've spent so much time in the Phoenix airport, but I was at my gate and I was waiting for my flight, and this woman was on her cell phone. And she was talking to all of her siblings, and she was saying, "Hey, I have a question for you. You know when Grandma and Grandpa gave money to all the kids for graduation? Well, this year Charlie, or whatever his name was, is going to graduate, and Grandma and Grandpa are gone, and I want to give him the exact same amount of money that they gave the other kids. So how much did they give to your kids?" And the person couldn't remember or whatever, and so she hung up and she'd call someone else. "Hey, da-da." Well, that's all I could hear. It was really noisy at the gate to get on the flight, and everybody's doing their thing. They're on their phone, reading their book, taking a snooze, but not me. All I can hear is this woman making me crazy, fingernails on the chalkboard. So I got up and moved. I went down to the next waiting area where I could still see the board for my flight. Well, what do you think? All I could hear was this woman was making me nuts. I moved further away. I still could hear her. No one else was noticing her. It was me alone that she was driving crazy. So finally we boarded the plane, and luckily I didn't hear her on the flight. But it wasn't too long after that I got home, maybe a few days, maybe a week, I'm not sure. But my two daughters, who I think at the time they were like 23 and 20, said to me, "You know what, Mom? We are two individual grown people. We would love if for Christmas we could get our own unique presents, not identical presents. We think it's time that you don't have to do that." Well, you know what I realized? I was judging that woman not because she was doing anything wrong. I was judging her because within me, I have had this thing about being so fair to my daughters, so equal, that I was not even acknowledging who they were as individuals. Because being fair to them made me feel better. Wasn't doing anything for them. That's what I learned. And I couldn't help but realize that my judgment of her was trying to get me to understand something about myself. So the next time the person in the office is driving you crazy, the person in the line in the grocery store, their behavior is making you nuts. You see someone on TV and you're like, I just can't stand the way they're behaving, and you have a negative judgment about them. Just pay attention. Notice if there's something in the mirror coming back at you to tell you something about yourself that you're just not quite comfortable with. Happens all the time. Happens in the reverse too. Sometimes somebody walks into a room, exudes all the confidence, or is very charismatic for some reason that you don't quite understand. Then they could be being a mirror for you for something within yourself that you either want to develop, aren't comfortable with, or haven't quite even noticed yet. So pay attention to the people that just kind of drive you crazy, because they're a messenger. And our job is to not shoot the messenger. So there you go. That's your little bit of Beth for today. If you want to hear more about this topic or any of these kinds of topics, just go to dynamicsofself.com and sign up for my podcast or weekly email. Hey, have a great day.